Merry Christmas. I hope you are all having a very nice day today. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then just happy holidays. Hope you have a nice day, regardless of what you get up to. Today's deal is, of course, not for gold, because this is the last day. This will last until the 31st. The 7032. It is last year's Christmas loot box tank. Or at least like kind of the main one. Like the E75 TS was, there, but this was the main one that people wanted to get. Is it worth the money? How much is it going for? That is the question. It's going for £32. It's quite pricey. That is quite a pricey tank, actually. Let me show it wherever it's gone. There it is. This thing is a good tank. It's a very good tank. If you have £32 and you're looking to spend it on this game, though, I would suggest you first think about premium time if you don't already have it, as premium time is the best way to invest your money into this game by far. And then look at all the other premium tanks, obviously, and compare them to this. This is a very good tank, though. It's not overpowered as such. Its armor is really strong. You're going to have to fire heat and pen here or here if you want to go through the turret. Alternatively, you just load heat if you've got a high enough caliber or high enough pen, then just go straight through it. But it can sidescrape really well. Frontally it is well armored. You can get pen to the cupolas, but like look at the cupolas, they're absolutely tiny. Yeah, like this tank is very well armored, especially for tier 8. Like it's almost tier 8.5, almost. But then when I compare this thing to a Progetto, which genuinely is like tier 8.5, nearly 9, I just think no, it's not. Sure, armor wise it is, I suppose, but honestly, like this gun is not tier 8.5. You get a good enough reload for 390 alpha. You'd get okay. I mean, actually, no, you don't get okay gun dispersion. Like if you, this is even with like a good crew. So even if you went bounty, there's a big issue with this tank, and that is the view range. The view range on this tank is absolutely awful, as well as the gun dispersion. 0.38 is just no for a tier 8 tank that is already going to be derpy with a 3-second aim time. The guns, don't get me wrong, like the guns are fine, and you'll probably notice that I'm going into a little bit more detail here because it is going to be on for so long, and a lot of people are going to genuinely think about this tank a little bit more than some of the other deals. And especially as you have to spend your actual money on it. Like, I will go into this tank with a lot more detail than some of the other ones. But the problem with this tank, you say, okay, let's put an IRM on it. But you can't. You just can't. 400 view range just isn't enough. And it's okay, I suppose. It's like a heavy tank, but I still wouldn't feel safe with 400 meters view range. And you stick optics on it, you only just get to 448. Like if I don't have bounty and I stick that on it, it's 446. Like this thing is blind, genuinely blind. So you're gonna have to run coated optics if you want any sort of view range, because if you don't, then you're gonna be extremely blind. And some people will say, well, that's fair enough. I'd rather take the better gun handling than the view range. But if you think of this from a free-to-play player's perspective, they are not going to use food. What are you going to do now? And if you don't use view range, wow. Like, this is a blind tank. Even more so than the IS-6. In fact, what view range does the IS-6 get? In fact, no, don't worry, it is exactly the same as the IS-6. I equipped it with the same stuff. and it is exactly the same as the IS-6. So this tank is blind, completely. You have to use coated optics on it if you're not going to use food. Yeah. Like, there's no other options for you. And it goes down to 0.4 if you don't use food as well. So, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, this is the recommended setup I would use for it. But for people that don't like using food because they don't like getting set on fire, or, I mean, who the hell likes getting set on fire? Or they just, you know, they don't feel comfortable with spending the extra 20k credits, and they'd rather go for the full, like, credit income or potential of this tank. I mean, that's what we're all going to buy the tank for, right? It's a tier 8 premium. It's there to make credits. Yeah, this is the main issue. If you don't care, then I would suggest you still go coated optics, honestly. Because I just don't see why you choose IRM. Like, IRM is great, but the dispersion values of this tank is not actually that bad. Like, yes, the dispersion values there are bad, but the actual turn of the tank and stuff like that are not too bad in this thing. As long as you have V-stabs. V-stabs is a must, and so is vents. These two you just never get rid of. But it's arguable about the third slot. I suppose. You could go this, but like, no. Why would you do that? I mean, sure, you could do that if you're playing it in Clan Wars or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think this thing even gets featured in Clan Wars, like the Defenders in the game, so yeah, Defender, IS-3A, whatever. It's been so long since I played tier 8 Clan Wars, I don't even know what gets featured in them. You wouldn't use Turbo. Like, the top speed's already okay at 38. Turbo is not really going to help you out too much. But I don't really think that you have an option. You just choose optics and that's done. But I would say this is how you set it up. Even if you don't use that, you're just going to have to go blind. For me, 426 isn't too bad. It's better than, you know, having that. But but I'll choose optics and I'll choose it set up like this. Yeah. There's no real tanks that can cause you a big threat at your own tier, except maybe like an ISU 152 or 152K. You know, those big TDs that have big pen and big alpha, like, they'll cause you issue, as well as the almighty Skylords that will rain down upon you, because that is totally balanced. Apart from those, yeah, I don't really see any other tank that could cause you an issue. Not even really the heavy tanks. I mean, I suppose Lervo if it fires premium. But like other tanks, such as like this, even with 300 pen. Actually, no, that will go straight through you. I thought this had a lot less. This will cause you an issue with heat. Yeah. You know what? We'll go quickly in Tanks GG and I'll show you the ARM model. Okay, so here you go. Here's what I was saying about the dispersion values, by the way. This is very good. 0.12 and 0.6 for when you're turning the turret and turning the tank is very good, which is why you don't really need IRM on it. Live model. This is the live model. As you can see, it can be penned with about 260, 270. So if you come against someone like a T77 firing heat, he can just go straight through you here, or alternatively, he can just go straight through your upper hull completely. There's nothing that you can really do about it. Can it be overmatched? Yes, it can. So we take the biggest caliber in the game, bang, put it there. It is 50 millimeters of armor, so 3 times that, which is going to be 150. So any 152 millimeter gun or anything like that is going to go overmatch you straight away on the top of the tank, which means the good old Keck tank can overmatch you. Yeah, ISU 152, 152K, they're going to straight be able to overmatch this upper plate on top of your tank, a lot like any other tanks could do to an IS-3. You know, it's got that little overmatch point at the top of the roof, so be warned about this. That can happen, and just look at this. This is standard pen with an ISU 152k. As you can see, yeah, there's lots of potential for you to be penned right around here. Just do not expose this. Go hold down as much as you can and just pray to God that they don't go above you. Just otherwise, yeah. Or just don't peek it. That's an even better idea. Don't peek the Keck Tank. Keck Tank will hit you. Keck Tank will do lots of damage. You will then be sent back to garage. Very bad. But yeah, to any other tank like that's not going to be spamming gold, like even the new Bizonte, like if he's firing his standard rounds, it's going to be a tough time for him to pen you. It doesn't really matter. Like, you can get penned in like tiny little spots, but no one's really going to shoot you there. With 230 pen, you can get penned in between the guns, so be aware of that. Obviously, bang, it's not going to work with heat because it's shielded, but AP rounds which have more than 230 pen do have a chance of going straight through the middle of this tank's guns, in between the two there, and it will penetrate you pretty reliably. I've been penned there plenty of times actually. But yeah, this tank is very, very well armoured. So that is it. That is my review of the final day of the Advent Calendar. The IS? No, that's not it. The 703-2. Hopefully you did enjoy. Hopefully you learnt something about this tank. I.e. you learnt that it's completely blind. And you're probably going to outspot this thing every time you see it. Unless it's running food with optics. Like, if he's running anything else, you could just literally sit next to him probably. As long as you're not into proxy range, you're fine. No, but seriously, this tank is a good tank. Is it worth your money? I can't answer that for you. Everyone has different values for their money. But hopefully I've given you some information towards what this tank is like in comparison to anything else that's on offer. And you can make the assumption for yourself whether or not this is worth it for you. Full disclaimer, this I got in loot boxes last year. I'm not given any tanks by Wargaming or anything like that. So, that is my review of it. Hopefully you'll have a very good Christmas and a very happy New Year. There may be a few videos here and there. I might do some gameplay videos after Christmas, in between obviously Christmas and New Year. So stay tuned for them. It'll just be some random, probably tier 10 or tier 8 gameplay, just random tanks that I enjoy, in the style of the grind, so I'll be explaining all the battles as I go. But yeah, we'll just be chilling out and playing some tanks. So yeah, have a very good Christmas, have a happy New Year, and I'll see you all in the next one.